Grew up in Hyla Woods, and it was sort of an inescapable part of life as long as I can remember. It's kind of like our deepest sense of home. It's the thing we've had the probably strongest connection to through my life, but also it's a big experiment.
It actually provides sort of a glue, a sense of common purpose and responsibility that helps tie the family together in a sense of connection to a particular place. My father began purchasing the 3 forests we now own in 1986. And then over time, we've added to that land and worked at restoring it. And we've been lucky to have 3 generations involved in the project. By spending day in, day out here working in the forest, I get to dig deeply into all of the different season and traits and moods of particular places. So compared to what was here 300 years ago, the land is pretty degraded. And a big part of our focus is how do we work in ways that rebuild the health and wealth of that land, but in a way that's sufficiently profitable so we can do it and create models that might work for other people too. So the whole thing's a 1,000-acre restoration project.
To me, there's kind of a long-term social and economic resilience factor to what we do, and making sure that we're paying good wages and that we're helping develop a more diverse and reliable workforce for the kind of work we want to do today and into the future. And then how do we have the infrastructure, the social and economic infrastructure to support that?
And we come from a heritage where often the focus is reversed, that it's nice to take care of the land, but at the end of the day I need X% return. And as long as we have that, we're going to have challenges. So it's really wrapped up in larger cultural change, which makes it a complicated question. So our job, our challenge is how do we create an economy and a culture and a relationship to land that provides humans with what they need, but not at the expense of degrading the sources of our well-being, and preferably in ways that can restore it so you create more options, more opportunities. So there are many things that make the airport project impressive, and one of them is the success in drawing wood from across our region.
Wood at a global scale is sold as a commodity, and what this project is trying to do is a direct refute of that. And so for people to walk through and look up and see that lattice and then say, oh, this had good impacts in terms of habitat, it improved ecological complexity, it helped store carbon, that I think is really impactful. And we were actually thinning fairly old forests for part of it. We had the logging contractor go through and cherry pick the nicest wood from it. Not all wood is sourced from practices like this. There's nuance in how wood is sourced.
To me, the airport project's super exciting because it's a great example of the people who are making those decisions saying, we want to have a beautiful building and we insist on making it be an example of how do we work in harmony with rural landscapes to create more opportunities and more possibilities. So you get a great airport and we have a healthier rural landscape ecologically and culturally and economically.
It's really great to be part of a multi-generational family business. Having that family legacy where you're not saying somebody else 6 generations ago made a decision. You're saying my direct ancestors made these decisions that have widespread implications for the way forests look today, I think does give you a different sense of responsibility. We're stewards of this much larger thing that extends beyond us, and our management decisions have direct implications for how much carbon is stored in this forest. My view of success is that this is enough of a viable business still in 20, 40, 60 years that we are able to grow forests that are ecologically complex, that are species diverse.
When we think about climate change, often we're surrounded by people who say, well, it might happen in the future. And the reality is it's happening now. And right now, I think we're at a hinge point, we're at a crux turning point in the history of our species, and we'll either get with the program and make some change or we won't. How do we develop a culture and a way of acting that treats the land with the respect and gratitude that it really deserves? What can I do to try to create a more positive future? And there are many encouraging examples of people working together to create the kind of innovation that current circumstances not just call on us, but demand us to do.